Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, Grand India Wildlife Adventure, Insider Tips for Your Safari. Presented by NatHab Expedition Leader Arpita Dutta. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Take it away, Arpita.
Thank you so much, Rob, for this amazing introduction and welcome everyone. And thank you for tuning in today. And we have been talking about like a lot of, I think we have spoken about Grand India Wildlife Adventure a lot about the animal sighting. We had how we have encountered few animals, how we do the trip. I think almost everything was covered before, but this is a little bit almost in the same way, but a bit different because there would be few points I would like to share with you if you are planning for Grand India wildlife adventure in coming season or in coming years. This might be a little helpful, and I'll try to keep a lot of time at the end so that you can ask me questions uh, wherever you feel like that you need to know. If I miss out something, I'll definitely answer you back then. So, with the start and Grand India Wildlife Adventure, actually, this trip, it seems like it's tailor made for me. Uh, I know who all guests are coming for them. It's completely new, but imagine every time, and I have worked also in the past years, I have worked in all this forest, and I still work in the northeastern part of India. But I think this trip as a whole brings a lot of thing on our plate. Uh, like when we talk about the animals, whether we talk about culture, this different habitats, the different temperature, it's all together. Like if you do this trip, you will get a very good idea about the density of wildlife and the biodiversity of India. A, a little bit, of course. So let's start. So just to give you a little idea about it, is the Grand India Wildlife Adventure starts from Delhi, which is the capital. So you all fly to Delhi. I fly to Delhi, and we get to see each other there. And we specially do the area is the central India over here, just in the middle, in the center, which looks like this, the map. And then we straight go to the northeastern part of India, which is one of the biodiversity hotspot as well. And there we visit the last our the last national park of our trip is the Kaziranga National Park, and in central India we do two national parks, which is Bandhavgarh and Kanha. These are the two, and we travel by flight, by car, and by safari jeep, which is inside the park. This is what we do. And so this is how we go all around. And from Guwahati, which is in the same state where the national park is, and from there we fly back to Delhi. And we say bye from there. So yeah, and to start with is your which is the important part of this trip is to carry your IDs and definitely your passport. And please carry your passport like once you get down, comes out from the airport in Delhi, there will be always a person who would escort you to the hotel. Like we stay in Taj in Delhi. So somebody will escort you. So don't need to worry. You just need to come out of the gate. That's it. And you have to carry your passports. And in case in between the trips, your the like if your passports, I mean the renew or anything has changes, so you have to carry both the passports, so you have to keep that in mind. And also you need to carry the passports when we were traveling, like all the internal flights, we are the domestic flights we are taking, as well as during the safaris. Okay. And next is, so the day we come in, the day we meet each other, that day afternoon around 12, we go out for the city tour in Delhi, in the old Delhi part. And we cover some monuments and some government, which are the old buildings, some government areas like Jama Masjid, Gurudwara, some religious places as well, or we go to Gandhi House. This is how the trip goes, depending on how the time and everything is sorting out. We plan accordingly. And with that note, from the very first day, uh, carry you should be like you should carry your water bottle, filled water bottle with you. Though we will carry water in the vehicle, but it is always better to carry your bottle along with you, because we have to walk in some areas, and for there it is very important to carry water bottle to keep yourself hydrated. And over there, where we can start is to, in some places, just like here in Jama Masjid, we cannot wear shoes inside. So sometimes, if you're okay with socks, like if you wear a thick sock, because during summer, that floor becomes really hot. So if you're wearing a socks, then it's fine. Otherwise, they kind of give a use and throw slipper. So in case if you don't want to, like, as we try to do the waste management as well, as we try to use the minimum amount of things we can. So you can do one thing, you can walk with the socks, or in winter and stuff you can walk barefoot if you are comfortable with, or you can carry your slipper in your room from the hotel which they have provided. You can carry that, so that we don't need to use those slippers which have been given from that place. And same here if we are going to this Gurudwara out there. So here also we cannot wear shoes or socks, anything. So we have to walk barefoot, but it's fine. We would be mostly going inside. So no, like no sun or your feet won't get burned. That's there. And one more thing for Gurudwara is we cannot wear any shorts. For men and for women, we have to wear full pants is fine. This is how it goes. For Gandhi House, nothing is required. You can walk with your shoe, and no dress code for that. So this is how it is. So we kind of do the city tour, and we come back, freshen up very quickly, and then we sit for the orientation. We do our welcome dinner, and we set bed really fast because we really need to wake up early in the morning, depending on the flight time though. It's not always same. So during the orientation only, I'll brief you, I mean, any EL will brief you the next day itinerary. With that, next is when you are here, you have to remember that we have to keep all our electronics separately in our carry-on bag. No electronics will go in the check-in baggage. No electronics means even sometimes the stuff for the shaving, what do you say, that the razor thing, the battery operated razor. So those are also not allowed. If you have any sharp objects, like we don't need poles here, because we don't climb anywhere. But even if you are carrying, if you need a walking stick, if it is a pole and if it has a sharp end, like at the bottom, if it is sharp, then you have to keep it in your check-in baggage. You cannot carry it in your carry-on. So I would say that it is better to keep a travel organizer bag for your electronics, because that really helped me initially. Like, I used to put everything in one bag, and so all the wires and the cables, the everything gets, it's more looks like a noodle, so they don't allow that. So if you put everything in a small pocket and it is well, so you don't need to take them out, you can just open the chain and put the flap, and a flap open, and they just go through the security. It becomes a little easier, though you have to take out, if you have your camera bag with you, if the camera bag is like, you can open the full bag, and if your cameras and batteries, everything can be seen, you can open the bag and keep it on the tray. But most of the time you have to take out your camera, your battery, your lenses. So all these things are there. So you have to keep that in mind. And it is not necessary, though the electronics has to go in your carry-on. This is static, but any airport can change it. I mean, in some airports, they can ask you to keep your camera out on the tray. So, but anyway, don't worry, we are there to assist you throughout. So, just we would have a lot of time in hand so that we can like fix all this thing very smoothly, and it generally happens very smoothly. And with that, we straight away go to the national park. So the next day we fly to the place, to the airport, which is close to the national park. And in our around 3.5 to 4 hours of drive, we reach our first national park, which is Bandhavgarh National Park. And we start our wildlife tour over there. It's an again, Bandhavgarh is a well-known national park, especially for the tiger sightings. And but I would say that in all both the parks, like in Bandhavgarh and Kanha, we get amazing sightings. At least for last few seasons, we are having good number of tiger sightings are there, and few bold females have taken the ground. I say that they are so bold that they actually, if they decide to walk on the road, they just walk on the track. They don't leave your space for your vehicle, so you have to follow it. So yeah, it's lots of fun. And over there, so the kind of habitat, if you see in these two parks, are mostly the moist deciduous, the dry deciduous, and in few places there are mixed deciduous forest. So mostly, apart from summer, from the winter till the pre-summer area or time, it is so dense, thick, uh, and it's all green. And especially, I love the time when it's February, and between like the end of February and the beginning of March, the forest looks so colorful. And it just, I mean, even if you don't see any animals at that area, the forest itself is so pretty, it's so stunning, that you can have an amazing landscape pictures. And just you feel like just calm and quiet. You stop your vehicle at one point, you get to hear a lot of birds and animals, and you can be completely lost in the beauty of the forest. That's how they are. And we would be crossing a lot of meadows. There are very many open meadows, because in all this forest there were human habitats were there. But after they have been declared as national park, those villages have been relocated outside. So we would see a lot of vacant land, but beautiful grasslands are there. And in grasslands, there are of course, there are a lot of deer species we get to see there. And yeah, so this is the end of March picture. But we got a little shower that time, and the morning looked like this. I mean, it's beautiful patch of forest. You can see it's pretty green around, and it's very close. Like, you don't have much space to look far away apart from the meadows. So this is how the habitat looks like. And of course, the king in this habitat, rather, she's a queen actually. And we come across a lot of big animals. um, the tiger, of course, the majestic cat, the sloth bear, very rare. So if you get to see one, I mean, it is easier to see a tiger rather than a bear. So if you get to see one, it would be a great sighting. And then with that, we have leopard. Sometimes I feel that we have crossed so many leopards, but it's so difficult to see them because, and I mean, over here, you don't only see leopards on the trees, so they will stroll on the ground or they will hide in the bush. No matter how the background is, they just blend in so well that it's really get tough unless and until they are moving a bit. In the last trip only that happened. I just saw a tail tip moved and just stopped the vehicle. I could figure that something moved and I could see that something tail tip. And then we stopped the vehicle there and suddenly the leopard looked at us. It was a small ditch there, and the leopard looked at us and then just ran away within seconds. So yeah, and we get to see otters, river otter. These are, and then we have this magnificent giant, the Asian elephant, the greater one horned rhino, and the gore, the largest in the bovidian family, which is this one. This is the gore, and look at this hump. It's huge. And the another huge animal is the water buffalo. Then we have a lot of primates we get to see. And the most entertaining animal in this forest are the langurs. They are so fascinating. They are always doing something, something stupid, something funny, something crazy. So it just, you can spend hours watching them if you get to just see a troop around. And if there is a kindergarten class going on, like if you have like smaller ones, and if you see them, I think that's a that will give you much more entertainment than any movie what you come across. So yeah, this is a different langur. This is called the capped langur, and during their breeding time they turn more orangish in color. And this is the one and only ape in India we have is the Hulak gibbons, and I love their calls. They just make the whole forest awake. And with that, we have the some do's and don'ts. And of course, with all these animals, we see innumerable number of birds, and especially if you're visiting during winter time. So there are the winter migrants as well. And so altogether, if you are a birder, then I think this place would be really for you, because while you go back home, you might get to have more near about 300 bird species on your list, like addition on your list. So yeah, that is not a bad call. So yeah, with that, we have some do's and don'ts. It's preferably that if we avoid or if we do, it will be better. Let me talk about the do's first. Is each and every lodge have a refilling station, and it's safe to drink, so you can refill your bottle before you head out for the safaris. Though again, we will carry drinking water, but it's always good to fill your bottle and leave. And that's there. And once we enter the safari gate, after we enter the forest, we would come across a lot of animals, some small, some big, and they are mostly doing their own business. But whenever we are watching something, we will try to keep a safe distance, because safety comes first. Because animals, no matter wild animals, how much we anticipate, how much we get to know that how they behave, but still they are very unpredictable. And always it's not the same story, but never happens. So it is always better to have a safe distance. So that's how we are going to keep it. And then we would have this jeep, the open vehicle, 4x4 jeeps. And once you have, so we all will have like divided into two to three to four jeeps depending on the group size. But it will be nice if we keep on rotating the seats in the vehicle. So that would be nice, so everybody has a different viewpoint, though we have like windows everywhere because it's an open vehicle. And no body parts outside the vehicle when we are doing the safari. Just like if you put your leg outside, uh, because there are some like there are some grills so that you can climb on the vehicle. So sometimes what happened that we kind of not knowingly, but sometimes we kind of take our leg out and we keep on that. It gives a nice support to your knee, but it is not allowed. So keep that in mind. No body parts, not your hand, not your body, not your leg, should be out from the vehicle by anyhow. And then every safari in central India we are doing. So in Bandhavgarh and in Kanha National Park, we have to carry our passports. It is must. If you're not carrying your passports, then they might not allow us to enter. So they have to match you with your ticket when it has been done. So it is very important to carry your passports in these two parks. And carry a camera and a back cover. If it is where it gets dusty sometimes, and so it is always better to cover your just carry a scarf or a small bag in where you can just keep your camera when you are not using it. And also buff would be there to cover your face, but it is sometimes it gets very dusty. So, and we have time in the forest. Like we are even 1 minute late, we can get punished. Okay, they can actually prohibit our entry next day, so we have to be very particular with our time. But imagine we are having a sighting at the very last moment, and we have reached there, and we have to like see it and come out at the same time. So sometimes we have to follow a lot of, like, we can be behind a lot of vehicle who are going ahead. So a lot of dust, definitely, like, it covers, it's like a cloud of dust. So we cannot avoid at that point of time. So it's better to be prepared. And the very important thing is keep yourself hydrated. Otherwise, because we are in an open vehicle, even mostly in the summer or in the mid of the winter, when the sun hits, it really get and all these places are, I mean, we have good humidity. So we can't, because we are excited, sometimes we forget to drink much water, and then by the time you come back you can get headache, you feel nauseating, and a lot of thing happens. It has occurred. And you somehow sometimes you don't feel going for the next safari in the afternoon. So it is always better to hydrate yourself. And though we don't have like we can't stop anywhere and do the bush and use the bush loo. So we have some restricted areas for the pee stop. So I always say that whenever you feel little ticklish in your bladder, just let me know, because we don't know which part of the forest we are in. So that it takes 15 to 20 minutes or sometimes half an hour from where we are. So if you tell at the exact time, then we can reach as soon as possible the closest place. So these are few do's what you can do. And in the don'ts, it's more like no perfume is preferable, because all animals are pretty much sensitive towards a different smell apart from the forest. So some can run away, some can get aggressive. So it is better that we don't use any perfume or anything which has an odor, like fragrance. So no flash while photographing. Do check your cameras that whether your flash is on or your auto flash is on or not, because in the evening safari sometimes it gets little darker. So in cameras, if there is auto flash on, the flash pops up and take the picture. So be very careful, that should not happen. It's not only for the disturbance of the animal, but it at the same time it's a park rule that you cannot use flash. And then no sudden movement during the sighting. Sometimes happen that the tiger is moving or the elephant is moving or the rhino has become when it had come very close. It has happened a lot of time, but as quiet as possible we have to be there so that they don't see any movement in the vehicle, because mostly the animals see the whole vehicle including us as one object. But if any movement that attract their attention, and at the same time sometimes they feel threatened as well, and when they feel threatened they go in a self defensive mode or get angry, so sometimes they charge. So it is always better no movement, no sudden movement when the animal is close. And you would hear a lot of animal calls, I mean the distress call will happen when there are predators around. So unless and until we are saying that okay you can stand up and look into the look around, it's better to just be on your seat and look around, because as soon as things will come you will get to know. This is how it is. And especially when the vehicle is moving, it is better not to move. And also I would say in the moving vehicle, don't try to drink water if you have a bigger water bottle mouth. So we can, as soon as you feel thirsty, just ask to stop the vehicle or slow down, because we get choked very easily with water. If it goes to windpipe, that would be another disaster. Just to be safe, so that we can enjoy the whole safari from the day one to till the end. And all the trash stays in the vehicle. I know none of our NHA guests and we do trash, but even if you're having a banana, suppose sometimes it happens that we will do breakfast in the park, in these two parks we will do breakfast inside. And sometimes you feel like okay we have to do a very quick breakfast because some sightings are happening. Maybe we have laid down our breakfast and suddenly we heard that a sighting is happening. We have to wrap up really quick sometimes, and that is the most fun part. I love, like, we laid out and we are relaxed. Okay, we will have the hot cup of coffee or tea and this beautiful breakfast layout and stuff, and suddenly somebody comes and say that okay there is a sighting happening at that place. And then we all, not only us, like all guests come together and they start putting everything together and say okay let's run. So sometimes we grab a banana or something with us so that we can have it. But even banana, the peel is a degradable thing, but still we everything we keep is inside the vehicle. uh, Nothing is going out. So yeah, that thing is there. And no feeding strays during the breakfast. So at one point in Bandhavgarh, there is a place which is close to the village. We are inside the park, but that is close to the village. So you will see a lot of cows, buffaloes, or some chickens, and also some dogs would come around wagging their tail and trying to like ask for the food from you. But it is better not to, no matter how bad you feel about them, no matter how like sympathetic eye, like emotional eye you see, it is better not to feed them, because that's a wild animal area. And there are a lot of people who are doing breakfast, and uh, everyone doesn't like those strays to come around them. So sometimes they hurt them, because this poor animal, they don't know right to whom they can go. So they go to everyone. So it is always better that not to feed them. They might sit right beside you for the entire time, but don't soften your heart. They get fed from the village. Nobody hurts like that. So no feeding to the strays during breakfast. Okay, so these are a few things. And yes, with that, why we say that during the safaris or when we sign up for a conservation adventure with a conservation tourism organization or a company, it's very important to understand the significance of each and every creature in the forest who are around us. And I believe that we all have the same mindset that the mutual respect is very important and it's very essential when you are traveling into their home. But unfortunately, a lot of people forget that. I mean, they kind of don't care about it, or because of excitement or the adrenaline make them do a lot of things which is definitely not a good idea to do inside the forest. For example, you would see a lot of gypsies would be going here and there. They might cross you, um, ask the like information exchange happens. All these things would do, and then when the sighting would happen, if the tiger is crossing the road, all the vehicles would rush like in as much as close they can get to, because everybody nowadays a lot of people takes like most of the people rather take big cameras and lenses, and they like a lot of photographers are there, so they try to give them the best spot, or so that they get a better picture in that position and everything. But here we play a very responsible role, that we don't fall in this rat race. Because when suppose a mother is having her cubs, but unless until they are big enough she doesn't bring them out. So maybe she's going somewhere, like she's crossing to the other part of the forest, uh, towards her cubs, or going for a hunt because she needs to feed. And all the vehicles, if they block the road, or if for that if she needs to change her way, though she will find it, but at that point of time you don't know in which state the tiger or the elephant or the rhinos are in. So it is always better to give them a free pass. So we would stop somewhere. We might, but definitely our 100% like effort would be to place our to position our vehicle in such a way so that you can see this beautiful, majestic animal, like see like very clearly, and this. But sometimes we might fall around the gypsies, but we cannot do the rash driving, or we cannot cross it. We would stay somewhere, because if she gets, imagine if a tiger gets angry or gets agitated, for a tiger just to climb on a gypsy is nothing. So it is always better to maintain that distance, and at the same time to give that animal a respect, so that we can stay at one place and see them what they're doing. I think that's the best part of it. You leave them behind, you just look into them, that what they're doing, how they're behaving, their spray mark, how they're rubbing their face for the scent marking against the trunk of the tree, or growling, or like trying to poop somewhere, finding the place, or all these. I mean, these are so many, or just doing the flaming response. I mean, these are so many things we can actually watch nicely, and to see it in its natural habitat, it's another amazing thing. I think people sometimes forget that. So don't be surprised if somebody else are doing, but we don't fall into that somebody. So we would try to keep that safe distance, and as well as the respect to those animals. So yeah, you can see that we were standing right in front. I mean, there is a pond out here, a water hole, and we are right in front. It was scorching heat, but look, you have a very, very clear view of the tiger. So, yeah, with that, and in the forest, everything, I think it's always a surprise. Every day is a surprise. Every day is like a gift for you to someday might happen that we haven't had any sighting, but of course in the forest we cannot say that I should mention the tiger sighting or big animal sighting. But in the forest, nothing, it can never happen that you haven't seen anything, but just you need the eye. And of course we are there to explain you about the forest, and there are amazing stories and so many, even little creatures tells you so much about that place. I think that is absolutely fantastic. So keep yourself ready for all the surprises, uh, like this one. That morning we had an amazing sighting every day almost. And this is the last morning in Kana, and 1.5 hours drive only. And everybody said that okay, they want to take rest. Of course it gets very hectic. And by the way, Grand India is a very fast paced trip, so be prepared for that. So everybody got tired and they were so happy about all the sightings, but these two ladies, they said no, okay, we will go. And of course, I am always up for that. So we three went, and can you imagine, we had a 1.5 hour tiger sighting, just a single vehicle. Like there were no other vehicle in the morning. And we went somewhere where she just walked head on for 1.5 hours. There were no other vehicles, no other people to interrupt that sighting. So it seems like the whole forest belonged to us. So yeah, all this kind of surprises keeps on happening, and you can see the happy faces. It brings a lot of joy to me as well. With that, so over here we do a walk as well in the buffer zone. And a buffer zone means it's for the administrative division. But for animals, there is no buffer, no core. Everywhere you can see the animal. You can see tiger pug mark, claw mark, sloth bears, wild dog, um, jackals. All these animals are around, and we go for a walk. And I would say that it is better to wear a full sleeve or a full pant would be good. And if you are feeling very hot, you can actually, if you're wearing a tee inside, you can take off your full sleeves. But it's better because there are a lot of like not deadly insects, but could be ants and small creatures, and that might be painful for a while, not for a long. And covered shoe must. um, and yes, and if possible during the walking safari, if you are wearing a full socks means till your cuff muscle, not the ankle socks, a little bigger, so that you can tuck your pant down, I mean tuck your pant inside the sock, so it helps so that nothing goes inside the pant. Because we have a lot of small red ants out there, mostly in the March and April. Those weaver ant nests sometimes falls off from the tree, but those are like just for a few minutes you will get that feeling, and then it just fades off. Nothing happens much. So yeah, on those, so it is always better to carry your hat, your water bottle, full pants, covered shoe, and your socks a little uh, long than your ankle socks. Okay, this is what we need during the walking safari. And yes, then we need a lot of patience, because over here in any forest in India, we don't use any walkie talkie, we don't have any chip into the animals, so we really don't know. So it's all about what forest is telling us, and we have to interpret that where the animal could be. So sometimes we know something is happening around, we might have to wait there for maybe an hour and a half sometimes. But the place is so beautiful, and birds and smaller animals, they keep some activities keep on happening. So yeah, that is always fun. But we have to have a lot of patience there. So you have to be there, like your you know sense of adventure has to be there throughout the entire time. And with that, for the luggage, for the internal, for the domestic flights, we just need 33 pounds. but I would say make it 30 or little less than that, because we have a lot of souvenir shops and they do have a lot of good stuff. Beautiful like t-shirts and shirts, cap, books are there about this forest, and yeah, a lot of small things which you may like to take back home, so it is better to keep your bag a little light. So what do you do when you fly from home? If you're staying longer in India, or if you have some other plans apart from safari, or if you're going somewhere else from India to somewhere, of course you would carry a lot of like luggage. But what we can do is we can take only the part we need for our safari, and then we can keep a bag back at the hotel uh, in Taj. We can keep it there, because we again will come back to Delhi, and you can get your bag from there. So this can be done. So no matter what you are packing when you are coming, for the safari we need very minimum things, because apart from the adventure like shirts and pants, we really don't need anything, because it's all in the forest. And so yeah. And how far, like if you are okay with that, then I would like to share a few things which you can actually reduce the weight of your baggage. Is I know first is the color of your clothes, which is very important. And try to try to pack all the pastel shades clothes, mostly close to brown, green. That would be nice. This one is too light, though sometimes we have to like we wear, but this is too light. Remember, white is the brightest color in the forest. We get in, because it's a moist deciduous forest, and you saw the thickness of the forest, and it's all green. So around that, green or brown, they blend very quickly in around the forest rather than this white. So prefer not to wear white during during the safari time. So the blend would be little more pastel shades and RB colors. This is how it should go. And for the safari, uh, yeah, so these are the lodges we stay there in. This is the King's Lodge in Bandhavgarh, this is Singinava in Kanha, and this is Diflu in Kaziranga. So all these are amazing lodges with all the facilities we need in a remote area, like the minimum facility what we need there, rather they are better than what we can expect. But one thing what I need to tell you is, all these hotels including Taj and these lodges, we have all organic, very very good, like high like good to skin um, toiletries are there. Like the brands used are like Kama. You can Google, sorry, you can Google, and then Forest Essential. These are the brands which generally these lodges they use, and they are very very good. Even this is not only my words, even a lot of guests has said that these products are really good. Few actually have carried back, so because they really liked it. It's soothes, like it's really smooths your hair, it's nice. No chemicals have been used, so you can easily use this product. So if you have a toiletry, if that case is heavy enough, so you can keep it back, and you are free to use this only if you prefer. And then you have all this towels and set of towels, and everything is there in the lodges and the hotels. And in the bathroom, how we can reduce the waste of the plastic is, you don't need to carry any like plastic bottles or any bottles out there, because all the tap water are like safe to use, like to brush your teeth or wash your mouth. These waters are really good, so you don't need to worry about it here. And this is not for drinking, I'm talking about washrooms and areas. So in for drinking, they have their like place where you can refill station is there for drinking water. So yeah, this is what you can do, how you can reduce a little bit of, at least, even if it is happens for 500 grams, I think that also helps. And for your packing, if it is winter, then you have to carry few layers, because in the morning it gets really cold. Cold in the sense, it can come down to 76 degree Fahrenheit. That's that much cold. And when it's hot, it can reach up to 100 and 110 degree Fahrenheit. I mean, depending on the season you are coming in. But the best part is that all the lodges have like laundry facilities, and they are at a very cheaper price. So you can bring less clothes and you can just put it in the laundry, and they take half a day. For example, in the morning, after the morning safari, if you're coming back and giving your clothes during your lunch, they will return it back to you in the evening or next day early morning. So if you are bringing two or three set of clothes for the safari, I think that would work. So that's the thing. So you don't really need to carry for everyday thing, because you can wash, and the laundry is really good. If you have any particular dress where you have any information, you can give it to the laundry, like sleep, you can write it over there, and they would do it accordingly. So yes, this thing can be done, where you can again reduce your baggage weight, because the more you carry, less it is easier to travel. Because as we would be changing a lot of airports, we have to go into lot of airports. So mostly, if we have small bags, then we can all dump at the same place and we can do the check-in together. But if we have like weight issues, then it takes a lot of time, because each and every bag has to go scan through because of the difference of the weight. So yeah, this is what it is. And then the food. Okay, over here, I think with NHA, if you have traveled, you know that apart from the wildlife safari, we kind of do a food safari. And it's very hard to stay, like say that after every trip, I do gain a lot of weight, because I love food. Food makes me happy, honestly. Especially when I get good dessert, that brings a lot of smile on my face. I just it's difficult for me to skip that. But yeah. But here, mostly in the lodges, we do have buffet system, as well as there are thalis, which is like they would serve everything on your plate, you can tell them. But in some places, you have to like do order, like in a la carte we have, especially on the first day as well. But I would say that the portion it comes is huge. Most of the time, it is very difficult to finish the whole thing at a go. So if we all are together, it is better that we do a family kind of service, like we can order like something, like we can discuss and we can order and then share the food among us. That can make a lot of less wastage, or rather no wastage, because it's so delicious food everywhere we go. So this is how we can work on it. And yes, with that, I would again say all the food, whenever we are having, whenever we are taking it, every like in during orientation, everything will be given. But mostly a few things is, keep reminding yourself to keep sipping water. It is really vital for all this forest we would be going. And with that, we will meet the two tribes out there, the Bega and Gond, and mostly whom you will see in the like in the lodges are from the locals. That they are the tribes, and they are not like from the hotelier kind of background. They have learned all this. And you know that hospitality, I think in India, over here, once you come, this is more like whatever they do, they do it from the heart. Like even when you ask for a water, if you ask something from them, they become so happy that they got a chance to give you something which will give you that comfort and happiness. So yeah, we will meet these two people. They are the tribals, but they are amazing. And we get a chance to dance with them too. So that's another amazing part, because I can't dance, but I kind of walk with the rhythm. And but it's so much fun with this. So yeah, and with that, I would say thank you for listening. And while on this trip, for everywhere, not only for Grand India, but I think it's all about sharing the happiness, sharing the enthusiasm, and the knowledge together, the passion, everyone coming together, knowing each other. I think that's a great part of this kind of trips together. Thank you so much, and I'm ready to take up questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Arpita. Now, before we start in with the question and answer session, I would like to remind everyone that you can submit your questions via the question field in your GoToWebinar control panel. And if you're interested in traveling with NatHab, you can visit our website at nathab.com for trip details, or give us a call at 800-543-8917 to speak to an adventure specialist. All right, let's dive into some questions. So let's talk about cameras for a second. Do you recommend bringing lenses longer than 200 millimeters? Are we going to need that?
Rob, can you speak a bit louder?
Yeah. Do you recommend bringing lenses longer than 200 millimeter?
Yeah, 300, if you have a 300 lens, that is good enough.
Great. Thank you. So let's talk about the colors of garments for a second. So
Yes.
we're staying away from red, blue, black, and orange. So are we looking for just greens and browns, or can we do some different colors?
Yeah, so no, it is preferable to be on the brown and green shade. That will be better. But red, I would say red is still better than white.
Gotcha. Um, so let's talk about tigers for a second. So if we're walking along, are we going to be in danger from tigers, or is there something specific that we need to do to stay safe?
This is you're asking about the walking,
Yes,
the walk
when
we do.
walking.
See, the thing is, we will be in a group, and the do's and don'ts for the walking we will be telling there. But not to worry about it, because, yeah, of course, the animals do come there. But there are a few trails, and we stay together, and the guides we have, and we are there specially. So all the naturalists, even the lodge naturalists are there. So you would be surrounded by a lot of people. Just you have to stay calm. That's the thing. I mean, honestly, nothing has happened yet. Just we have to follow the rules and regulations. But
Gotcha. And
never,
our
nothing happened again. I mean, never, nothing happened till date.
that's good to know that our guides are going to take good care of us.
Oh
Um,
yes, we would be the wall. The animals need to break that wall to get to you. So just be assured about it. When we are in the forest, that soldier feeling comes in. That you are the person people are dependent on. So somewhere the strength comes in. And of course, I think all the ELs who are there, all the naturalists who are there, they're more than like 15 years, 20. I have been in the forest more than 20 years now. So you know the forest, that how it speaks. And especially over here, the animals start giving distress calls, so something is there. So you kind of prepare yourself accordingly.
So, what time of year do these trips run?
So we start from November, like from mid of October actually. From then till May first week, it runs.
What kind of weather can we expect to experience during that time? Are the temperatures going to be incredibly hot?
Okay, during winter, it is very comfortable. As I mentioned, that in the morning, it can drop to 75 to 76 degree Fahrenheit during winter, and the highest temperature during winter goes up to your 86, sometimes 90 in some places, and in summer, it can go up to 100 and 110 degree Fahrenheit.
Gotcha, that's quite the range.
Yeah.
Uh, so, are there any extensions that you can recommend us booking with this trip?
The Taj extension is there with this for Grand India.
And would that extension be with a guide or without a guide?
No, no, with extension, also with the guide. Suppose if I am leading a trip, I will leave you after you finish your Taj extension.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that.
And
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 so,
also, Rob, sorry to interrupt, but also extension means you can do for Taj extension as well as you can join another uh, like trip as well. Suppose last season a lot of guests have done Snow Leopard and Grand India together. Like they have done Snow Leopard first and then they did Grand India. So you
gotcha.
can club two trips together as well.
Well, that sounds like a good idea since we're going to be there already.
Yes.
um, so, is the Grand India something that you guide? How many different guides take out these trips, and how many guides will we have on our trip?
Oh, if it is my trip only, I'm guiding. No one is there. I'm the
Gotcha.
only one. I'm the only one. Like not me. Like all the whoever the guides are there for Grand India, they just guide alone. We don't have our partner. Like together, we don't do it.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that. Unfortunately, that is going to be the last question that we do have time for today. So I'd like to throw it back to you for any closing comments you might have for us, Arpita.
Thank you so much for tuning. Thank you for asking so many questions. You can ask more. You can just ask those questions to me or at the office. That would be nice. And I'm still hoping that someday I'll see few of them, a few of you who are watching the webinars, and I'll meet them and I'll say hi in person. That will be great. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And you too, Rob. Have a great day.
You as well, Arpita. Thank you so much for taking the time to present for all of us today. And I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. If you're interested in information on how you can travel with NatHab, give us a call at the number on your screen, or you can send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. Join us tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineup, including registration links, on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.